Hello and welcome to jdcb.cloud. This is AWS series of reducing cost. If you worry about overspending on AWS, this is the right place for you. Let's talk about how we can cut EC2 cost by savings plans or reserved instances. In this video we will cover 3 parts: reserved instances, including payment options and term lengths, RI attributes, scope and offering class, flexibility and limitation. Savings plans, including what is savings plans, how much discount and examples. At last part, we will cover which one is suitable for you. Okay, let's move on. From the AWS official website, you can get what reserved instance is, a billing discount that allows you to save on your Amazon EC2 usage costs. When you purchase a reserved instance, you can set attributes such as instance type, platform, tenancy, region, or availability zone. Any existing or new on-demand instances matching the selected attributes are charged at the discounted reserved instance price. Reserved instances act as an automatic discount on new or existing on-demand instances in your account. Please note here, an RI is a billing discount and it is not an instance. Furthermore, it does not even guarantee you reserve a capacity of certain instance. RI is actually more like coupon or billing function. You are not purchasing a specific instance, but rather, a discount that will be applied to instances in your account, as long as they match certain attributes. When purchasing RIs, you can select between 3 payment options: no upfront, partial upfront and all upfront. No upfront means you pay nothing upfront but a fixed monthly fee in addition to the discounted on-demand fee. All upfront means once you pay a lot upfront and no fixed monthly fee in addition to the discounted on-demand fee. Partial upfront means you pay a little upfront and a cheaper fixed monthly fee in addition to the discounted on-demand fee. Partial upfront normally charge a little more than half of the all upfront fee. In addition to upfront payment, you must specify a term length at the time of purchase of either 1 to 12 months or 12 to 36 months. The discount you get varies by payment option and term length and is proportional to your upfront payment and the length of your term. This is an example from North Virginia, U.S. East 1 region. Let's say you want to buy standard RI for a M5 large. After searching, click Effective Rate column title, you get the prices listing the cheapest one on top, which is here a 3-year all upfront price $0.036. Comparing to M5 large on demand price $0.096 per hour, that is 62.5% off. As for 3-year partial upfront, you pay a little more than half of the all upfront fee. Here it is $505, you get hourly rate of $0.019. Plus your partial upfront fee, actually you get effective rate of $0.038, which is 60.4% off. For partial upfront mode, in your bill, you will see a once payment of $505 and charge for recurring hourly fee of $0.019 by your EC2 running hours. For 12 months no upfront, you get 6 cents per hour, which is 37.5% off. At the time of purchase, RI attributes like platform, tenancy and instance types are key factors that matters your prices. Platforms include Linux, Red Hat, Windows and their varieties. Windows is more expensive than Linux. When you buy, you also have to lock into the instance family that you select. Regarding how to pick the right size and instance family, please refer the previous video. Tenancy has default and dedicated options. Default tenancy is shared and that means other customers might be running instances on the same hardware. Dedicated tenancy involves reserving dedicated hardware for only your instances. It is more expensive. Please note, RI normally means default tenancy. For dedicated tenancy, the price is separate, either on demand or reserved instance. When you purchase an RI, tick the right top option, only show offerings that reserve capacity, then search conditions pop up one more list, availability zone. RI can be either regional or zonal in scope. When purchasing RIs through the console, the scope is set to regional by default. Regional scoped RIs mean that the billing discount will apply regardless of the AZ that the instance is launched in. Zonal scoped RIs means that you will have to specify a particular AZ with your RI. The RI discount will only go into effect if the instance is launched in the same AZ. To make up for the restriction, zonal RIs give you a capacity reservation. This means EC2 will reserve capacity on your behalf to guarantee that an instance that matches your RI attributes will be available in that particular AZ. This is not provided by standard RIs, which only give the billing discount but don't make any guarantees about whether a particular instance configuration is available. Zonal and regional RI have the same price. Offering class has two options, convertible and standard. Standard RIs are the most restrictive RI category but offer the biggest savings. When you buy a standard RI of a particular instance family, you are locked into that instance family and the instance attributes specified at time of purchase. If you find that you need newer generation or other type, you have to purchase new RIs. Convertible RI addresses the problem of RI lock-in by allowing you to trade in your existing convertible RI for another one of equal or greater value. If the value of the new reservation has a greater upfront fee, you pay a one-time true-up charge to cover the difference. When you trade in convertible RIs, you are also allowed to change other attributes of the reservation such as platform and tenancy. In exchange for the flexibility, savings on convertible RIs are, around 9%, less than what you would get from an equivalent standard reservation. Convertible RIs are able to subdivide and merge existing reservations. For example, two T2 micro reservations can be converted into a single M4 extra large reservation. Conversely, one M4 extra large reservation can be split into two M4 large reservations. For convertible RIs, you can divide and combine your reservations however you like as long as the resulting reservations has an equal or greater value than what you started off with. For example, a T2 medium can be exchanged for a new convertible RI of M3 medium. Convertible RIs cannot be sold in the RI marketplace. Click Actions drop-down list in the Reserved Instance page of EC2, you can see Modify Reserved Instances. You can do this for both standard and convertible RIs. For example, you ordered 3 T3 Nano standard instances and now you want to modify. You can modify this 3 T3 Nano RI group to two zonal RIs, one T3 Nano in US East 1A and the other T3 Micro in US East 1B. This new combination has the same units as before modified, which is 0.75. Please note, the total units per RI group must remain the same, otherwise you won't continue. We will explain what units are later. If you want to modify reserved instances for other instance type, you can only change it to some size in the same instance family. For example, T3 series can be modified only to types of other T3 sizes. If you ordered a 2 T3 Nano convertible RIs, for this RI group, you can modify it for one regional T3 and the other one zonal T3. And of course, you can also modify it for one T3 micro instance. Since convertible RIs are a little more expensive than standard RIs, in exchange of the extra cost, you get more flexibility. This exchange reserved instance feature is only available for convertible RIs. The more flexibility reflects that you can change both instance family and types, specify either zonal or regional, modify operation systems, tenancy or payment options. If you exchange an RI group with higher value, like the upper picture shows, you need to pay the difference. If the total upfront payment required for the exchange is less than $0, AWS automatically gives you a quantity of instances in the convertible reserved instance that ensures that true-up cost is $0 or more. Each reserved instance has an instance size footprint, which is determined by the normalization factor of the instance size and the number of instances in the reservation. When you modify the instance sizes in a reserved instance, the footprint of the target configuration must match that of the original configuration, otherwise the modification request is not processed. To calculate the instance size footprint of a reserved instance, multiply the number of instances by the normalization factor. In the Amazon EC2 console, the normalization factor is measured in units. The following table describes the normalization factor for the instance sizes in an instance family. For example, T2 medium has a normalization factor of 2, so a reservation for 4 T2 medium instances has a footprint of 8 units. There are some limitations for reserved instances. First, RIs are tied to a specific region. If you need a cross-region saving on EC2, continue with this video, AWS savings plans can help. Second, officially AWS offers 1-year or 3-year term. If you need to buy several months RIs, you need to buy from the RI's marketplace where you are not guaranteed to match your needs. Third, each AWS account is subject to 20 RI purchases per region per scope, and you can contact AWS to raise that limit. Now it is time to introduce AWS savings plans. Including what is savings plans, how much discount can we get, and some examples. Okay, let's move on. On November 6, 2019, AWS launched Savings Plans, a new and flexible discount model that provides customers with the same discounts as reserved instances, in exchange for a commitment to use a specific amount of compute power over a 1 or 3 year period. From the official announcement, we can get known that if we commit to AWS about some quantity of compute power for 1 or 3 year, we can get cheaper prices. The specific amount of compute power is measured in dollars per hour, and as the same as reserved instances, you need to commit for 1 or 3 years, and thus 2 years or 6 months, for example, is not applicable. Compute power here means EC2, EMR, ECS, EKS, Fargate and Lambda. Savings plans offers the same discounts as reserved instances. Depending on which savings plans you have purchased, if it is EC2 savings plans, you get the same discount as standard reserved instances, on a specific instance family in a specific AWS region. If it is compute savings plans for EC2, you get the same discount as convertible reserved instances, regardless of instance family, size, AZ, region, OS or tenancy. As for compute savings plans for Fargate, you can get up to 20% discount, and some regions offer 12% or 15% per gigabyte or per vCPU per hour. In case of compute savings plans for Lambda, you get up to 12% discount. This applies to duration charge and is not applicable to request charge. You can order savings plans from AWS Cost Management Console or from EC2 webpage. Like RIs, you need to choose term or payment options. For EC2 savings plans, you have to also select your desired region and instance family. Different to RIs, savings plans discounts will first apply to on-demand resources with the highest discount, and they apply automatically to matching resources without manual work. This automatically applied flexibility allows customers to purchase savings plans before waiting for other cost optimization work, for example right sizing, to complete. In this example, you have the following usage in a single hour. 4 R5 4 extra large Linux instances, 1 M5 24 extra large Windows dedicated instances, 400 vCPU and 1600 GB of Fargate usage plus 1 million requests for 512 MB memory of Lambda usage. Before we deep dive, let's calculate the total cost if our usages are all on-demand model. 4 R5 4 extra large Linux costs $4 per hour, and 1 M5 24 extra large Windows costs $10 per hour. AWS Fargate pricing is calculated based on the vCPU and memory resources used from the time you start to download your container image until the Amazon ECS task or Amazon EKS pod terminates, rounded up to the nearest second. In this example, it costs $22.40 per hour. For Lambda cost, you are charged based on the number of requests for your functions and the time your code executes. Duration is calculated from the time your code begins executing until it returns or otherwise terminates, rounded up to the nearest 100 milliseconds. The price depends on the amount of memory you allocate to your function. In this case, Lambda costs $22.70 per hour. To sum up, all these cost is $59.10 per hour. This picture assumes 1 year duration, partial upfront savings plans matching the configuration of your usage. Rates and discount percentages are hypothetical for simplification. For Linux and Windows instances, we can buy EC2 savings plans since it offers higher discount. For Fargate and Lambda usage, we can use compute savings plans to cover and get discount. The strategy combination is to buy $10.20 per hour EC2 savings plans and $35.925 per hour compute savings plans. The total cost after discount is $46.325 per hour, that is 21.6% off comparing to the on-demand cost $59.10 per hour. Savings plans is a new commitment for discount model that applies up to 72% discount on Amazon EC2 and AWS Fargate usage. They are much more flexible than reserved instances, illustrated in the table. Basically, we have compute savings plans and EC2 savings plans. From the first part of this video, we have known that convertible RIs can change instance family. For example, you can change your RI from C4 to C5, or from C4 to M5, etc., but it is not automatic. You need to do some manual work from AWS console by clicking Exchange Reserved Instances. Compute savings plans does not require you do anything for such modifications while benefiting cost savings. EC2 savings plans are like standard RIs, you cannot change instance family. As for instance size, operating system and tenancy, savings plans cover such flexibility automatically. With convertible RI you can do that by modify and exchange manually. Standard RI supports change instance size and scope by modify. You cannot change OS, tenancy or regions for standard RI. Of the only compute savings plans support far-gate and cross-region flexibility. A simple principle is that use savings plan for compute and RIs for RDS, Redshift, Elasticache, and Elasticsearch. Thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed it.